So there was a report that came out about Ernst, the sporting director of the Philadelphia Union. And obviously, the Union have a really big week ahead of them. On Sunday, for the first time in 22 days or whatever, they're going to play an MLS playoff game after they dispatched the Chicago Fire in 2 games. They're finally going to take the field again against NYCFC. And like, this should be a game that gets you really excited. This should be a game that really does matter for the Philadelphia Union. It should be the main focus weeks after they played their last game in the playoffs. And yet, that's not the big focus. The big focus is on the sporting director, Ernst. The Guardian put out a story about Ernst well, I'll just show you the story. It was, what was it, Pablo Maurer, right? Pablo Iglesias Maurer put this out. I believe this came out last night. Came out Tuesday late afternoon. This is the story, and it's got a pretty damning headline. MLS executive who built a powerhouse faced allegations of sexist, racist, and homophobic behavior. He denied the allegations, which prompted a recently concluded MLS investigation that could not corroborate them. Now, this is a very long story, and there are a lot of things in this story, including something I just had to pull off because it was a quote that he allegedly said about a referee touching one of his players a few years ago, throughout a homophobic slur that they claimed 20 plus fans heard him say. There were comments in here about him potentially saying demeaning things about female referees. There were things about comments that were made about people being subhuman potentially, or being not at the same level intelligence-wise based on their race. Not good stuff. Not good stuff at all. Now, MLS investigated. He was essentially cleared. As that subheadline says, MLS could not corroborate the claims. So this story breaks last night, and you go, all right, well, the investigation's over. So clearly, whether there was some truth to it or not, the thing is over, and now you just kind of say, all right, time to move on. Except nay. Because today, Major League Soccer put out a statement in which they said they are reopening the investigation. So this report by The Guardian was so damning that apparently the decision makers at Major League Soccer have reopened the investigation. The statement from MLS reads as follows, or from the Philadelphia Union. The Philadelphia Union takes all allegations of misconduct extremely seriously and is committed to maintaining a safe, respectful, and inclusive environment for everyone associated with our club. Discrimination, harassment, or abusive conduct of any kind has no place here, and all staff are required to complete annual sensitivity training. While a recent MLS investigation was unable to corroborate allegations involving sporting director Ernst, MLS has advised the union that it will be reopening the investigation, and the union continues to cooperate fully. The union has placed Mr. Tanner on administrative leave during the investigation. Throughout this process, our top priority remains the well-being of our players, fans, staff, and community. And so, the union put out that big statement, right? So again, there are accusations of homophobic slurs, misogyny, about female officials, racial stereotypes. Some of that was also about officials as well. There was the thing about how he hired a coach at Union 2 who was unqualified and who essentially seems to have been verbally abusive to players. That maybe he carried himself with an air of arrogance, and that was off-putting to coworkers. So you put all this together, and you go, all right, how bad is it? Is this going to lead to Ernst being removed as the sporting director of the Philadelphia Union? And one of the things that MLS kind of put out in their own statement is that there were people who were approached in the first investigation. Many of them decided to participate either anonymously or not. And that those people, in the midst of that investigation, they couldn't corroborate the accusations. MLS put out a statement today saying that they're going to maintain an anonymous reporting hotline and encourage anyone with relevant information to come forward. Now, the Philadelphia Union are in the midst of a playoff run. If there's ever a time, I guess, for the sporting director to get placed on leave, now is about as good of a time as any. Now, do we here at the Russ Joy Show condone misogyny, sexism, or racism? We do not. Did I hit all three? Let's see. Racism, sexism, and Racism, sexism, and homophobic slurs. That was the other one. No. Do we condemn Ernst Tanner right now, coming off of an investigation where they couldn't corroborate the claims? Well, no, I don't know what you do. If the league looks into it, I think it's probably safe to say that some of the accusations could have been true. They very well may have. But if the league cleared him, and now you get additional reporting that, like what this seems, and I could be wrong, so take this with a grain of salt. There were people who alleged things. Major League Soccer looked into it. Major League Soccer said, can't corroborate it. Case closed. Ernst Tanner's fine. You could stay in your position with the Philadelphia Union. Seemingly, somebody or somebodies who might have made claims against Ernst Tanner were unhappy with that. Then they spoke out to this reporter who presumably also had other sources speak. Maybe one of the people who had made an allegation also came forward to that reporter and put other things out there, because Major League Soccer essentially said that there were more accusations that came forward. And so now they're trying to parse what's true, what's not, and they're reopening the investigation. I guess the question is going to be, if Major League Soccer does this again, and they still are unable to corroborate the accusations, will there be another report to come weeks from now? And will they reopen the investigation again? Like, at what point does the league say, we investigated this, it's from our perspective, it's done? Now, to their credit, if there are legitimate issues, and there was one of the things we didn't touch on here, is that, like, apparently there was a apparently inappropriate contact with a coworker. I think they said, like, grabbed the butt of a coworker. You certainly cannot do that. You certainly cannot. And if that got reported to HR and wasn't handled, then that's shame on the Philadelphia Union for not following up. All of this is to say, it feels like a lot more information is going to come out between now and Friday. Friday, the goal is to have somebody on who's covering the team a lot more closely. And by then, we'll have even more information to go off of. But for right now, it is a shame from a macro perspective that if you're a Philadelphia Union fan, your team's about to be in the conference semifinal. And instead of being able to focus on that, you have this very awful black cloud looming over the organization. And again, I will be fair. This is a thing that, if it is proven to be true, is a horrible black eye on this organization. And I would even make the argument it's probably a pretty big black eye for the league itself if they were able to clear this guy. And now it looks like they maybe shouldn't have, right? Will I compare this exactly to what happened in the NBA with the gambling scandal, where they cleared a couple of guys only for the FBI to turn around and say, nay, shouldn't have been cleared. Here are some additional facts that you were unaware of, and now we as the feds are able to bring to the forefront? I don't know. I don't know if it's totally fair to make that one-for-one comparison, but it doesn't look good on the league if you cleared the guy and now you're reopening it again based on this report. I don't know. We'll see what happens. Ultimately, if these things are proven to be true and are corroborated, well, then you're probably looking at Ernst Tanner getting let go by the Philadelphia Union, which from a, is that the fair thing to do? Is that the right thing to do? If all these accusations are true, yeah, there's no place for any of it. I will also note that, like, this guy might be the best executive in the entire league. He certainly is the best executive the Philadelphia Union have ever had. And so if this ends up turning out to be true and he gets let go and it's found that, like, that is the right thing to do, that puts a massive hole, by the way, in the Philadelphia Union's building of a team. Ernst Tanner, if we just set all, I know it's hard, if we set all of these accusations aside and we just evaluate him on the professional quality of being able to build a team, he has been able to build a team that has been a Supporter Shield winner twice, has been able to build a team that might actually get back to MLS Cup again for the second time in a few years. And he's done it with little to no financial support relative to other teams in the league. And that is, like, a commendable accomplishment. And at the same time, if he's done that while also being potentially misogynistic, racist, and homophobic, like, it's not great. It's not great at all. You don't put those things on the scale and say, they kind of balance out. You're such a good executive. You can't. So we'll see over the next couple of days what truth comes to light. We'll see what this new investigation finds in the next couple of days. And again, we should have somebody here on Friday who covers the Philadelphia Union to talk about it. So we will see.